I cross the street, I have a dream. Hey, you guys are amazing. You're not. My child was less than 1.5 years old. That year, I traveled 13 times. Huh? Are you going to raise your children? Are you going to follow a career? The dilemma we face as women. So, where was I? Who can remind me? Oh, the 5 pickups. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I said, okay, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to go grow tomatoes. And then Martin said, I'm going to go and do chicken. I'm going to do eggs. So so I went to get land. I wasn't going to buy land. Long and short, I was conned. You know, it happens. I was conned. I made losses. The first time round, I made a loss. By the way, if you know my personality, me, I don't like being shindwad. You know, it ain't gonna happen. You know, I've got that competitive streak. So anyway, second time round, let me tell you. Oh, before I did that, I told my auntie, Auntie Jane, I want to do farming. And she told me, don't do farming. It's not gonna work. I'm like, okay, Auntie Jane. Then I went and leased the land. And then I didn't have a pickup. So I went, Auntie Jane, I need your pickup. That was the second harvest. Yani, I had never seen anything. If that was a sign to go on with the dream, that was it. There was a day we harvested. The tomatoes inside the pickup, the ones outside were more than the ones inside the pickup. And you know, I got the market, blah, blah, blah. Makiu, this was the year I got promoted in AstraZeneca. Isn't that strange? So I was an executive by day and a farmer by night. So I could, it was crazy. I'd do 4 o'clock in the morning to 9 p.m. That was the kind of day I would have. Because I had to go to the farm. I had flexi hours, huh? So if I left for the farm at 4, it would take me 2 hours to get to the farm, which is 6. And then I inspect the farm for 1 hour, and then take off at 7 and show up in the office at 9. And of course, I'm going to put in my hours. So I work, you know. So I have my black pants, and I have my black camisole. And then I have my ngomas, and they are walking, and these guys are hearing my English, and they're thinking she's gonna fail flat. I'm like, oh, you guys don't know me. You don't know me. Don't play with me. So I'm right there. You know, thank goodness, farming helped me with my Swahili. It's pathetic still, but you know, it's much better than what it used to be. So anyway, I finished the farm visit, get into my car, drive. Just before I kick off my ngomas, wear my pumps, and wear my red blazer, put on my lipstick, and become the corporate woman. Huh? Power suit. Do what you gotta do. Anyway, that worked for a while. The long and short is, after there were many tomatoes outside the pickup than inside, it gave me hope that I found a market. It was not the soko that you think. I used to walk, there was a day I was walking with 100,000 in coins. And yeah, I'd sold my tomatoes, but it was to the small man there. So I went to my coin store convenience. I said, hey guys, do you guys want change? They gave me my 100,000 in my coins. Of course, the mistakes we do as business people. Had I even registered a company? Oh no. Put it into whatever, there was an ATM next door, went and put it into my account, huh? Bit, you know? Long story short, I mean, it was really good. But the potential versus the reality, there was always a difference. It took 5 years of losses. 5 years. 5 years. My cousins would come from America and say, Hiya, you're still at this. So you do something different. I said, and then with all these lessons, you want me to take them where? No, I'm going to stay and turn it around. Year 6. 18 months, we made everything we lost and more. Ting, ting. This time, I've left AstraZeneca. I've been headhunted by GSK. And you know, that time I was thinking when I was in campus, I was like, it's just because SmithKline Beecham, and then there was Glaxo Wellcome. You know, they were really posh, you know. And I was like, oh my goodness, one day I'd like to work for these guys. And the headhunting came with perks and luxury cars and all of that. And there I was, but there was a problem. There was a very big problem. So I have this portfolio, I have this big job, and I have access to data. Who was giving us data? Ipsos. Remember Ipsos, those guys, huh? Only 1% of our population could afford our medication. In Kenya, we're a middle income country. Now, the rest of the other countries that I was working in were least developed countries. People could not afford medicine. I had a choice to make. Am I going to put medicine in people's hands and they can't afford it? Or am I going to put money in people's pockets? I will put money in people's pockets. What do these people do? They do agriculture. Surely selling medication and selling food, which one is easier? Please, people eat. People take medicine when they're sick. Anyway, that was my exit plan. I went to GSK. I loved it, ish. And then I exited and became an entrepreneur. When I exited, people looked and said, "Are you mad?" In fact, they didn't want to talk to me. They thought she's, and the HR called me and she asked me, "Yvette, what are you doing?" I told her, I'm following destiny. She said, "Are you sure this is not an emotional choice?" I said, "Why would it be emotional?" She said, "What are you doing to your children? You're pulling the rug under their feet." I told her, "You know what, huh? I'd rather have peace of mind than get ulcers here anyway with all this pressure. You know, if we're going to eat skuma wiki, we're going to eat skuma wiki." Anyway, when I left, I told her something. I told her, "I will see you where? At the top, Patane Oko." And I left. Yeah? For the first 3 years, it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Exactly 9 months after I left, I got my first investment. And they were not paying me to be headhunted and all those things. My first investment was an equivalent of almost 1.5 years of salary into the organization that I started. The following year, Obama came. We had a competition, participated, we won. I was seen with a fact check on Twitter. You know those cardboard checks, huh? And it was in US dollars. I remember going home and my kids were like, "What? All those zeros, you know?" That is when the people from GSK came. "We knew you had potential." I was like, "Oh, really?" You know? So one of the things I learned is people can be very fickle. Don't let people decide your narrative for you. When it looked like I was going to go get my hands dirty, oh, by the way, GSK came with a brand new compressor, silver. I said, "Hey, yeah. Hey, you walking about." Let me tell you, that compressor, I sold it quickly and drove normal cars. When I went to farming, I mean, hey, who's driving a compressor to the farm? Are you crazy? You know? So anyway, so off went the compressor, off went the whatever. Then you realize that you had fake friends because you had the friends who wanted to be seen with the compressor. As if you became less of a person when you were getting into a Vitz. Those are my lessons. Those are my life lessons. People are fickle. The fake ones showed up again when they saw me holding that fact check. Guess what happened after the fact check? CNN called. They did a story on us. Woo! Yvette. What happens? I get a call from Yale University. I go to Silicon Valley. Hey, we are rolling in the entrepreneurship world. It is fantastic. And guess what? I just turned 40 years old. Woo! I got a kiss from heaven. That was when I turned 40. It was fantastic. Man, globetrotting, sharing. I mean, and I was so excited. You know why? Because I wanted to change the narrative for the African. Who says the African is begging? Who says the African what? We're going to do something. We're going to change the African's life. And this African is going to talk to you. That was my narrative. Sounds exciting, yeah? See, we're meeting at the top. That was the top. But when you're at the top, do you stay at the top? Aha. Overnight, I lost everything. Overnight, we were declared broke. A couple of tens of millions. Okay, 10 million times X. That is what was lost. I won't tell you what X is. Okay, but X is not one. It's more than one. You get what I'm saying? We lost everything. Do you know where we lost them? What happened to Nakumat suppliers? What happened to Chumi suppliers? Overnight, we're in debt. And again, everybody disappeared. They disappeared. Disappeared. You look left, you look right, there's nobody. All of a sudden, they have conveniently forgotten even your name. They don't know you, or they're too busy. That was it. Would I have stayed there? That was the greatest blessing of my life. The greatest. That was 5 years ago. Yeah? So in case you're thinking I turned 40, that's when you said I'd have gotten married at what, 18? Oh my goodness, no. Anyway, so I got married at legal age, man. I was legal. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is, what do you do when the obstacles come your way? The natural thing, I could have packed, I could have gone to look for a job in Canada, move with my children, and forget about it. I could join my family. My mom and my siblings are in the US right now. But was that my calling? Was that my portion? I don't believe so. My calling is here. My calling is tied to economic empowerment. That is why I was in agribusiness. I started off farming. I started off farming to make money. In the course of making money, I met more people like that Mzee I had seen with no shoes. And I realized this is where the solution was. These are the people who would come and pick my tomatoes for me. These are the people who would tie the vegetables for me. I started to see patterns that were very interesting. I started to see that when you gave the women money, they took their kids to school. Notice, whatever, guys, when you gave the men money, they went to the pub and they had a good drink. So I said, okay, we need to do something. The first time I was conned of the land when I was farming, I remember the words that came. It was about women. It was about uplifting the dignity of women. So my dream is still valid. My dream has to do with economic empowerment. When a woman has to exchange her body for a piece of fish, there's a great injustice. Poverty is abnormal. It's an injustice. So I'm an activist. I fight poverty. I fight poverty with everything within me. God exposed me to great organizations. AstraZeneca, my favorite. GSK, ish, it's goodish. But because of that, my agribusiness and why I got the attention from CNN, from Silicon Valley, from Yale University, and Wangari Maathai Foundation was because I integrated technology, digital technology, into the farming. And that continues to open doors for me up until today. Up until 2 days ago, there's an open door that I'm planning to walk into, okay? But that digital technology is a tool. The end game is that people, women predominantly, and men included, will have options to make money. And when they make money, they will have somebody to train them. Maybe, Otundo, I should take you there. And train them on financial literacy. And they'll be able to set, we've seen the benefits of devolution. Now we need to take it to a new level. Look, no politician is going to come and change our lives. If you're waiting for them to come, you're going to wait a long time. This is my parting shot. There's so much. It's only when I started talking that I realized I barely told you anything. But we'll work with what I've shared. This is my parting shot. Each of you have got some greatness in them. This greatness manifests as a dream. If you nurture that dream, you will realize that greatness. This greatness, when you manifest of it, only you can solve a certain problem. There's a problem waiting to be solved. And you have it in you. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Have you discovered this greatness? Have you? You need to start discovering it. For me, it started off with Science Congress. Then it went to biochemistry. Then it went to a world in the pharmaceutical industry. In the pharmaceutical industry, they taught me business skills on how to be sharp in business. I started making millions of dollars for my employer. I asked myself, I'm going to spend my whole life making millions of dollars for people. So it started off by saying, when will I make millions of dollars? I wanted to start making millions of dollars for myself. God put me in check and said, girl, you don't need millions of dollars. You make those millions of dollars to transform the lives of people. When a person is put in a place that they're like this and they're begging, that is not dignity. That is not anything to be proud of. And so, the journey continues. Hatija Maliza, the journey continues. The way God worked in my life is that setback took me back to employment. When I left GSK, my plan was never to go back. But it took me back to employment. The next company that hired me had a digital platform exactly like the one I had in agriculture, but it was in pharmaceutical business. And because I had a background, I would never have jumped from where I was. My next hire, sales and marketing director. Then COVID comes. Oh, the first year, I increased the sales by 20x of the previous year. Now, in comes COVID, sales are declining. No. We doubled the sales. But I felt that the season had come to an end. I'm just wrapping up my session in case you're wondering. Then we'll have the Q&A. I felt that the season had come to an end. As the season was coming to an end, my season came to an end with a very toxic boss, extremely toxic. Even if I walked on my head, they would never appreciate me. And the toxicity was happening at the time when my dad had just passed away. And we had been looking after him. He had battled with cancer. It was painful. I was at my lowest. Imagine being kicked when you're down. You have to know who you are. I talked to some of my colleagues, they're like, but what else can I do? I don't have another job. I said, I don't care. I'm not going to give this person permission to treat me the way they're treating me. It doesn't matter what I do, even if I walk on my head, they will never appreciate it. So how about you keep your job? I did my homework. Because of my hire, I was hired by the board. I said, how long is my notice? 3 months. Jipanga. I walked out not knowing where I was going to go. I said, but don't I have a business? Yes, I had a setback. Can't I build it up again? And I was there working very hard to rebuild my business. Woohoo! Including, when God has your back, he has your back. One day, randomly, I get a notion. Clean up your spam mail. I clean up my spam mail. I get an email. These guys are in from the States. They've heard about me. Interestingly, by my sister there, she says, I need to make a disclaimer. You're looking for someone to fulfill this role. She's the perfect person for the role, but she's my sister, so you know. I said, we're in Kenya. I'm seeing this email on Tuesday. The email was sent to me on Saturday. We're in Kenya till Friday. We want to see you. I said, I'm available on Friday. The CEO had already left on Friday, so I met the COO. And 2 hours, 45 minutes later, I knew something amazing was going to come. That takes me to where I am right now with Sinapis. Sinapis is a Latin word for a mustard seed. And they work with entrepreneurs. And I told them, I'm the right person for this job because I wear the hat of an entrepreneur. I know how entrepreneurs hurt. We'll fix it. Then I have marketing in the background, and I have sales, and I have a commercial background. Give it a try. And as they say, the rest is history. You heard I was in Rwanda. I was having calls with Uganda today. I mean, every day I meet amazing people called entrepreneurs. And much as I wear the hat of East Africa Regional Director, I am an entrepreneur. I tell them, I am one of you. I'm going to meet you out there. When this assignment is over, there we go. So while I'm working, I'm perfecting my plan. And while I'm working, I've got other people working for me. Oh, that women in this country will walk up dignified. And men as well. I'm a mom of boys. I don't have any daughters. So celebrate them as well. But people will not have to be like this. People will be like this. They will give and give and give. I have a dream. My dream is of abundance. My dream is of enablement. My dream is of transformation. And that is why I am sitting right here talking with you. What is your dream? What is the greatness that is hidden in you that only you can solve? You will tell yourself that. If you don't tell me, I would love to hear about it, but you tell yourself that. Over to you, Otumbo.
Let's give a round